What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Frank Warren. Frank Warren warns Anthony Joshua that Joyce would knock out Joshua, and Dubois would do the same. Wow. Frank Warren, promoter of heavyweight Daniel Dubois and Joyce, is willing to match either boxer against former two-time champion Anthony Joshua. Warren also co-promotes the WBC world champion Tyson Fury. He tried to match him and Joshua for a year-end clash, but their negotiations fell through. Fury will now return on December 3rd, of course, to take on Chisora. And Frank has this to say about Joshua. He says, now I'm going to be able to start throwing Daniel Dubois at him. And Joyce said to Sky Sports, if he doesn't fight one of them, I think they'll find it hard to sell anything, and he can't say, why should I do that? I tell you why. He'll become a mandatory. He's liable to get knocked over by anybody. I'd put any of my guys in with him, any of them. Joyce would knock him out, and Daniel Dubois would do the same. We've worked very hard over the last few years on this heavyweight scene, and we've guided our guys in different organizations, and we've boxed it off a bit, so I'm pleased. Joe has done extremely well against Parker, got a great reviews back from America because his fight done big numbers over there. It was a good fight to watch. He set himself up. Him and Tyson Fury will be a huge fight. Of course, Deontay Wilder. But as far as AJ, he will get knocked out on the spot. Let me counterpunch. This is expected from Frank Warren simply because, both of his fighters, you have his fighter that took his first L from his other fighter that he co-promoted, Joyce, and, Daniel Dubois is the WBA regular champion now, so he has a pony in the show in the champion rankings. And Joyce has knocked out a former WBO champion in Joseph Parker, 30 years old, believe it or not. So, especially when Anthony Joshua's been outpointed twice and he wasn't able to redeem himself, all it takes is those type of things to occur when people start really looking down upon you or selling you short, okay? This is the boxing game. It's what you did lately, right? And Anthony Joshua hasn't done much lately besides lose decisions, So I think it's a rather premature for Frank Warren to say such things about Anthony Joshua because I could understand if he got knocked out. That would be a reason for rhyme. That would be a reason to say, okay, yeah, anybody can knock him out at this point if he did take a KO loss. But he hasn't. He's just got outboxed by a smaller, quicker, wittier, better fighter overall, Alexander Usyk. But not, taking an L in terms of a knockout. That's strange. You don't say the same thing about Deontay Wilder. And last year, he was knocked out against Tyson Fury. You're not saying throw him in there with everybody or anybody. So I find that strange. But I think it's a different reason for Frank Warren wanting this particular fight with his fighters versus Anthony Joshua. It is the money, people. That's right, the money. Of course he wants to throw his fighters at Anthony Joshua because that means millions of dollars. If Anthony Joshua screams money, he's still the golden goose. He's still the guy people want to fight. That's why he's warning Anthony Joshua. That's why he's baiting Anthony Joshua. He's loving the idea of Joshua fighting one of his guys because he wants a piece of the pie. Counterpunch. Now, is what Frank Warren said warranted? Would Joyce knock out Anthony Joshua? I think he could. I think he has the ability, but Anthony Joshua, I think, again, people are underestimating him a lot because of the guy that he got beat by. And only time will tell if that will really venture out because what happens if the same thing happens to Fury? But we'll know on the day. But either way, though, we have Anthony Joshua, being pretty much undersold are written off by Frank Warren, and his fighters will definitely do the same. Well, you know, Joe Joyce has a better chance than Daniel Dubois to me because Daniel Dubois is more like a Frank Bruno 2.0, and a lot of people have actually compared Daniel Dubois to Anthony Joshua. Now, would the fight sell? Of course it would. We could pull up the old sparring wars between the two, and we do know what happened between Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua. Daniel Dubois knocked him out, right, in sparring. Okay, so those type of things, and those things will resurrect themselves if that fight ever gets made. But I don't think, and I'm not convinced that Daniel Dubois has learned anything from his loss to Joe Joyce. So basically, all you have to do is have a good jab, and Joshua has that. So I don't see Daniel Dubois really beating Joshua unless he can catch him with something to hurt him. And then that's a totally different story. But guess what? We're in the heavyweight division, right? So, you know, um, Frank Warren saying this, I think, besides him being boastful and arrogant and happy that his fighters are thriving right now, unlike Eddie Hearn's fighters, I just see he wants that paycheck. He wants that ching ching, that bling bling. He wants it all because he knows Anthony Joshua is still a huge draw. So why not throw his top fighters in there at Anthony Joshua? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Frank Warren stating that anybody would knock him out. Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, you guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace. Knock out Anthony Joshua. Tell me what you think. Please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.